Hey guys, welcome to this session for Indulge Fest. To introduce my next guest takes a lot of words. One of India's most celebrated chefs, she has won multiple awards, including in September 2017, the Ordine della Stella di Italia, the highest civilian honor in Italy. And I managed to say that.
Oh, very
She,
well.
she's the TV host of such shows as Italian Khana and Traveling Diva, author of three cookbooks, Italian Khana, Traveling Diva and Diva Green, a vegetarian cookbook. But above all that, she's a woman who has embraced life and food and how. She's now co-owner of three restaurants in India, three in Milan, and a catering vertical that serves worldwide destinations. I'm really happy to welcome Chef Ritu Dalmia. Welcome, Ritu.
I'm so happy to be here, and especially part of Femina Indulge Fest. It's a story, it's a history, it's a relationship that goes right from my first restaurant till now. Very happy to be here.
So that's going to make a great discussion, I'm sure. So let's start at the beginning. As you said, you come to food from stone, which sounds really intriguing. And you've carved your way in the most inspiring way. So we'd love to hear something about your beginnings in food.
So you see, there's not much of difference between stone and food. When I was in stone, it was all about feeling. It was about a touch. It was about texture. It was about the density. It was about, what emotion it, for me, that's what stone was. And in food, if you think about it, that's also about texture, density, and emotions. So for me, I'll tell you what I felt in stone. I feel the same way about food. How it started, very simple. Stone took me to Italy often, and instead of falling more in love with stone, I found a mistress in food. And that mistress took over my life, and the wife was thrown away, and stone became, and food became my way of life. So I've always liked to cook. I was cooking since I was a kid. I think I have every Tarla Dalal book and every Nita, what was her name? Nita Mehta. Can't quite remember. So every cookbook and Madhur Jafri's book was a very special treat. Whenever anyone was traveling, I would say, bring cookbooks for me. And seeing the cookbooks was a great delight, but also great disappointment
Yeah.
because I couldn't cook anything out of it because Maldon salt, balsamic vinegar, rhubarbs, where the hell was I going to get that from? So
Yes.
since I was a kid, I was always experimenting with food, always cooking, but never thought I'll take it as a profession. So I think my father shouted at me one day quite badly. And that time I was young, I was egoistical, I was, arrogant more than anything. It was the arrogance. And I said, okay, I've had enough. I'm pretty smart, I'm pretty intelligent, and my father shouting at me in front of everything. Thank you very much. Showed him my middle finger and decided to quit. Ah, okay. You quit at 20. I've started working when I was 16. 4 years, I had made 5 lakh rupees in terms of the commissions I used to get on stone. And I thought I was super rich. 5 lakh rupees in 1993. I said, I can retire. So that's why I made this hasty decision. Now, what do I do? So again, arrogance of youth. I thought I knew it all. I really thought, my God, just because I like to cook macaroni with baked beans at home, that I'm the greatest cook and the greatest connoisseur of food. So I'll open a restaurant. No, stupid, idiotic. And so for me, actually, the first restaurant was like going to Harvard Business School. I never finished college. I never went to college, barely managed to finish school because I learned with the first restaurant all the things you should not do whilst you open a restaurant. I had it wrong completely, right from location, right from cuisine. But I have to admit, the cuisine was wrong for that period of time, but that formed a base for me. So, of course, the restaurant was an absolute flop. I still remember Sabina Saigal Saikia, who used to be a Times
Yes.
food guide and who later became a very dear friend of mine, came to review the restaurant. And she wrote that a rich girl has decided to put her hands in food and she's put the pricing the way she would spend and not in. And I called her up shouting and screaming, "What do you know about it? I've made this with my own little money and blah, blah." And I used to sell a fondue, cheese fondue at that time for 460 rupees. My cost was 600 rupees. But obviously, I was an idiot to put fondue in a menu when a time where standalone restaurants didn't have a standing.
Yeah.
They were all anything Italian food or European food, you went to a five-star hotel for it.
Yeah.
When you came to a standalone restaurant, you expected very reasonably priced food. So no one could hack it. And then food import was banned at that time.
Yeah.
So I used to fly to Italy every month and bring suitcases full of food, which obviously the costing never worked. It was
Absolutely.
complete disaster. But I was lucky. I found someone who took it off my hand at a decent price. And next thing I did was I took a flight to London because I thought no one appreciates me here in India. No one knows it. So I am going to go to a city where food is booming, where international food is booming, and I will open an Indian restaurant. So that's how Vama happened. But Vama was difficult to start with. I mean, I had little money. People would come, put a gun on my head, and I would sign a check knowing that it's going to bounce like a rubber band, irrespective.
Mm.
But in Vama, I learned how to run a restaurant. I learned how to actually, we were in Chelsea, which was quite a chichi area of
Mm.
I had very fancy guests. Brian Adams used to be my regular, and the aloo dum in Vama was only made for him because I used to eat at 7 o'clock aloo dum and roti. I'm a Marwadi girl, so aloo was a favorite. And once he came and he said, "I want what you are eating." It was not on the menu.
Mm.
And after that, for the next 4 years, it was a menu only for him. But
Wow.
being there in London, getting the success, whatever, it was all good. But at the end of the day, I was young. When I was in London, I think I was 23 when I started Mama. I was pining for home. I was pining for home from day one, even when. And because I went in a wrong state of mind, I went in a state of mind that I need to prove myself. And it wasn't, I can't explain to you, but it was almost like escaping my failure of Mezzaluna.
Yeah.
You can't escape from yourself. But I was too scared to go home because I said I can't come back with my tail between my legs, first Mezzaluna. So I couldn't come back till the restaurant became a success. Day Wama was booming. The day Wama became talk of UK, the day we had a guest like Rowan Atkinson, etc., asking us to do all the events, I said, now is the time I can go back with my head held up. Also, the other reason was I was in love with a woman who was in Delhi. And after 4 years of being there, I realized long distance doesn't work. So I had to make a decision. And I'm a woman of heart. I'm a woman who rules my life till now with my guts, with my heart, and very little with head. So that's it. I came back to India and Diva started, and rest is, of course, all history then.
What an amazing story, and what a way with words you have, really. And I mean,
Well, I'm
amazing.
planning to write an erotica, so these words hopefully will help somewhere or the other.
Of course they will. I can think of the market already, all ready to see. To I mean, you can move things so well. It's amazing. It's such a pleasure to listen to.
It's a
But
pleasure.
tell me, so much change. What is your sort of attitude to challenge and change and iteration?
You know, again, I have to admit, a lot has changed for me in the last 1.5 year, or 1 year rather. This COVID period has really, what I was as a person, I think pre COVID, I'm a very different person now. I mean, pre COVID, any challenges, I was up to it. For me, it was a thrill, it was an excitement. I think this 1 year has really mellowed me down in a
Mm.
lot of ways. And now I'm at a time where I want to lead a simple life. I want to run my business in a simpler way and not look I'm not looking out
Yeah.
for anything new or anything which is challenging or thrilling or adventurous. I think finally middle age has set in.
No.
Yeah, so earlier, I mean, I used to go out looking for something.
Yeah.
Just when I don't know, before COVID, we had 8 restaurants in Delhi. We had a restaurant in Goa, and sometimes I used to just do it gut instinct. I want to open it because I'm bored.
Yeah.
I want to do something because I want to, how shall I say, uh, do a new menu, a new style of food. But those were not the right reasons, really. And COVID time, we took a very big decision to shut down restaurants where our landlords were not willing to negotiate or willing
Yeah.
to cut down the rent because there was no way. Our restaurant formats are small restaurants. We don't do big restaurants. We do 40 seats, whatever. Otherwise, I can't maintain the quality.
Yeah.
And after the COVID rules came in, and you had to do 50% seating, it wasn't making sense. So I took a very hard decision in my life, I think for the first time, where because every restaurant was a baby for me. I used to
Yeah.
call them baby number one, baby number two, middle-aged child, etc. It was almost like I abandoned
Yeah.
four of my children. But in hindsight, I think it was the best thing I do. And that's a change I see in myself. If it was 5 years ago, I wouldn't have shut any of them. I would have fought
Yeah.
tooth and nail, even if I fell flat on my face. I would have done that. But this has really changed in me. So I'm not the sort of person now who's looking out to take pangas
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
anything anymore.
Not tilting at windmills anymore.
Yes. Yes. You have a way with word as well, I have to admit, Primrose.
Thank you. Thank you. So, of course, words now. Diva. Okay,
Yes.
the word diva
And
in
look at
your restaurants, in your TV
look at
shows, and it's an attitude. So, tell me how you decided that that was the one that you would put out.
oh, I'll tell you what, I've always had a feminine, uh, there has to be some feminine element in my food, in my names, in my restaurant. So, Diva, again, for me, is the ultimate feminine power. Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, the attitude, where I'm a diva, my darling.
I
Okay,
know.
let's face it. So the
I know.
restaurant had to be diva. Vama, again, was a feminine. It was a woman. Chitamani, again, feminine. Speaker, again. So diva really started because I was young, as I said, I had an attitude. So I said, I'm a diva. I wanted to be a singer at one point. I wanted to go to Carnegie Hall and perform where Maria Callas had performed. I don't have the voice or the skill. I can't even hold a tune. So at least with the name of the restaurant, I could just feel that little bit of diva in me. So that's how it started. And as I said, I think diva is an attitude, diva is a way of life, and diva is about woman power. So the restaurant, of course, had to be diva.
It's an amazing choice.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
all
It's an
are
amazing
divas.
choice.
Let's face it. In
Yeah.
some ways, we all are
Yeah.
divas of what we do, and more power to the divas.
And we have to just own it and embrace it. And I think
Exactly.
then it
Exactly.
sort of lifts everything. I mean,
Exactly.
elevates your spirit and everything so well. Okay, so your restaurants use I mean, long before it became fashionable, you were using clean, simple, fresh ingredients, ingredient forward, seasonal cooking. I mean, even this book. So I was showing it to you. I have it. I cook from it. It's very ingredient led cooking. And
Yes.
this was, this has been your thing for a long time now. It's
From
not
the
something.
beginning. From
Yeah,
the beginning.
yeah. So why did you decide on that kind of stance?
So you see, I'm a fake chef. Okay. I'm not a chef who went to a cooking school or a catering school. I don't know techniques. Even now, when I chop my vegetables, I chop like how you chop in the house with one hand.
Regular person.
And I can't do it. I've never been trained to do it. I can't do it. So, and also my first love was Italian food.
Mm,
So, Italian food, if you look at it, it's only about ingredients and very simple techniques. And this is something which I've loved from day one. In fact, we do a lot of Indian food now. Our restaurant in Milan is a modern Indian. In our catering vertical, we do. But our catering Indian food also, Milan, is very different from the so-called restaurant style or catering style food because, again, it's ingredient based.
Hmm.
I think if you're eating mutton, okay, chonka mutton, what you need to taste is the mutton, not the masalas that go into
Absolutely.
it or how you have cooked it for 5 hours and made a mess of it. And for me, it's really has been very important. So, as you said, fresh vegetables. And I've always believed if you use good ingredients, you really don't need too much skill to make a hash of it. If your ingredients are good and you use it in a simple way, you
Yeah.
just can't go wrong. And in some ways, I think I'm also very conscious of it that fresh ingredients, good ingredients really play, seasonal ingredients play an important role. I was involved with the slow food movement right in the beginning when it started. It didn't work in India at that point. We have always, for example, been very conscious of waste. So we have always adopted the policy of zero waste long before it became fashionable and the right word to use. We were the first people to use wooden straws, paper straws. Were the first people to start using biodegradable garbage bags. So I've been conscious of it, and also because my current partner, who's German, has been drilling that in my head for a long time. Plus, also seeing and dealing and working with international chefs all over,
Yeah.
you realize the importance of it. So we actually embraced it long before. It wasn't easy, even to source, for example, for the takeaways. I still remember about 7, 8 years ago when I was trying to source something biodegradable instead of plastic. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it. So even now, for example, I take the bottoms are all biodegradable, but the top is still plastic
Yeah. Yeah.
because I don't have an option. So
Yeah.
this is something which I think is a process. It's something which is evolving with time. But everyone in my company knows, every chef knows, every front of the house knows that no messing around with this part. This
Yeah.
is very close to my heart. And as I said, if you use good ingredients and I put a little bit of great extra virgin olive oil on fresh salad, a drop of balsamic, I've created the most amazing, most delicious salad without really doing much to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about giving, I think, the
And you
produce
see
its
Diva
due.
Green. If you see Diva Green, that was my ode to my favorite vegetables and
Yes.
ingredients, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all the things like beetroot and all. I mean, I did a thing on pumpkin yesterday because it's pumpkin day in very. Our restaurants in the beginning, when I used to put things like pumpkin, cauliflower, beetroot, all my waiters used to say, "Ma'am, koi nahi khayega." All guests will say, why have they come to the restaurant to eat kaddu and all? But today, if you look at it, it's become the inverted snobbery thing to do, to
Yeah.
eat pumpkin but the thing is, I've always gone for the, how shall I say, the underdogs. Okay. And in our world, in our life, kaddu, gobi, ghiya, tori, tinda are the underdogs. So I have embraced them with great love and affection, and I portray them in the best possible way.
I think they are all the things that we didn't want to eat as children, especially. When you get a little older, you perhaps,
Exactly. So I have an
reconcile.
event happening in a week's time, someone's birthday party, and I have actually done a station with Ghia. One station is Torei, and one station is Tinda, and done in the most beautiful way. So just to take that mindset off,
Yeah.
that hang
But
on.
if mothers used your recipes and did it,
Exactly,
we wouldn't have the problem.
exactly,
So,
exactly, exactly.
okay, so Indian food abroad again with Chitamani. Have I said it right? In,
Yes,
in
Tamani.
Milan. And you're getting Italians to taste and enjoy the flavors of the Indian subcontinent. So, how is that sort of working out? What are the reactions that you're getting?
So, I used to have an Indian restaurant, as I said, in London before.
Yes,
Oh,
bless you.
the blessings. Um, Mama was a very different restaurant. Mama was modern Indian food at that time, but mainly Northwest frontier, mainly tandoori stuff, etc.
Hmm.
Because that time was a period. when naan food was all about curry and lager.
Yeah.
So it took it to the next level of refining the so-called curry. Chitamani is very different. Chitamani is not a curry restaurant.
Hmm.
Chitamani, for me, as I said, again, we talked about ingredients. It's about home cooking.
Yeah.
So, for example, Chitamani menu has my Marwadi uh, Matar Belma Kachori,
Mhm.
okay, Aloo Pethe ki sabzi. It has Gobind Bhog Khichdi from Calcutta with Bhapa Aloo, okay. It has the Bihari chaat of aloo, tamarind, etc. It has the Goan Hindu prawn curry. So it has, so for me, Chitamani was also changing people's mindset, because in Europe, people think Indian food is about heavy food. It's
Yeah.
about food that has color, which has oil floating. You go there to get that binge, but it's not something you would eat often. And it's not something what Europe or worldwide hasn't understood, that in India, we are a very particular country. It's the only country in the world where I've seen where the restaurant food is very different from home food.
Yeah.
We also go to an Indian restaurant because we don't cook that food at home. In Italy, it's completely different.
Oh.
Italy, the food that you get in regular restaurant is also the food that you cook at home. But Italians, because by nature they like to go out and they can
Yeah.
eat more than one or two times at home, so they will go to a restaurant and eat the same food which they could easily cook at home as well. So for me, it was very important to showcase that Indian food is not about butter chicken.
Yeah.
It's just not about tandoori rotis or kulchas. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
And that's what Chitamani was about. And I have to admit, Italy was very kind to me. They took and embraced Chitamani from day one. We have won many awards. We are rated as the top Indian restaurant in Italy. And for me, it was also going back to my roots.
Yeah.
It was all my life, I ran after international food, Italian being the first one. Then, when I was 40, I went and said, I only want to do Asian food. But I realized the most difficult part of cooking, or the most difficult cuisine, the most elegant cuisine, was the cuisine I was running away from. That was Indian food. And so for me, it's also a way that I've retaught myself
Yeah.
how to cook Indian, how to understand the nuances, and how to understand spices. I still have a long way to go. Every day I'm learning something new, but Chitamani has become my laboratory or my playground for experimenting and rediscovering Indian food.
Wow. So that one was your Harvard, and this one is your laboratory. So, yeah. And so that was Italian, then Asian, then Indian. So you are very, very cooking without boundaries, but you also want people to eat
Of
without boundaries, which is, I think,
course.
is in your next restaurant, which is
Yeah,
Pika
yeah.
in Milan with Chef Viviana
Barese. Yes.
Varese, which offers comfort food from across Asia, America, and Europe. So tell us about that, and how do you both decide? Because you are both strong chefs. How do you
Oh,
decide what
oh my
goes onto the menu there? And tempt us with some descriptions of the food
God.
that
Okay.
you offer.
So, Viviana, we also hold a share. We also have a holding in her restaurant, which is called Viva. It's a Michelin star restaurant. Viviana has been a friend for many years. I have used her for many events across the world that I've done from in a catering vertical. And we decided to buy a stake in her restaurant 3 or 4 years ago. So one day we were sitting for a coffee, and we love to have coffee together. Outside her restaurants above Italy, and outside in the courtyard, there's a great coffee place. So she always goes for a coffee and a Coca-Cola. I always go for orange juice. And so we used to meet there often. And she's also very well traveled. And for me, apart from cooking, my next love is traveling. So we were just sitting and talking. Oh, and I ate this, which was delicious. And so, oh, I went there and I ate that was delicious. So in a way, it became like a competition.
Yeah.
Who had traveled more, who had tried more food, and who knew better. And that's where the idea came. In 3 minutes, the decision of speaker was done. Okay, it was like just basically she took out her passport, I took out my passport, and of course I had a lot more stamps because Italians, they don't need visa for half the bloody
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
So I, in some ways, won the thing. So that's how speaker came. So speaker was, I didn't want to put a cuisine to it. I didn't want to put a name to it. I didn't want to put a story. It was about, okay, I ate the houseway there, which was better than this one. My keema roll or anda paratha in Mulchand is the best that I've eaten. She said, oh, the lapichango from Peru was something that I love. So the food became really a food memory for both of us. And in some ways, it was fabulous because the menu kept on changing, the menu kept on evolving. I went to one particular, and it's not about Asian food, it's not about American food, it's not about Latin America, it's not about Asia. It's about any food memory that you have had or something delicious that you've eaten. Come back, try it out, and put it on the menu. And actually, Speaker has been fabulous. Chitamani is in some ways elegant. There are two wines that I love, which is from Piemonte area. One is Barbaresco and one is Barolo. Okay, so Chitamani is like Barbaresco, very delicate, very elegant, very, how shall I say, smooth.
Mm.
Whilst Speaker is Barolo. It's strong, it's got an attitude, it's got fun, yet when it hits you hard. So, so, uh, so that's what Chitamani and speakers. When I want to feel young, when I want to feel hip and happening, I will go to speaker, sit outside on their terrace and have a wonderful cocktail. I would go to Chitamani for a glass of wine, but speaker I would go for a cocktail, a plate of dim sum, some small bites. So they're two different concepts altogether, two different mood, two different feel,
Foods, yeah.
but the base always remains the same, which is quality ingredients, which is good style of cooking, and not overdoing anything.
Yeah, yeah. Also very hungry making, but fine.
Yes, that's that's the problem of virtual world. If you and I were sitting across each other and chatting, we would be eating something whilst we are talking. And here, thanks to this virtual Zoom world, you can only salivate. I can do nothing.
Yeah, but salivation is also good. And there is always that list that builds in your head, you see.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
next time I'm in Delhi, that way.
Exactly. Look forward to it.
So you are now in Delhi.
I'm right now in Delhi, yes.
So how long has it been since you've been
I've
in
been
Delhi?
back, so let's talk about where all I've been in last year. So I was stuck in Goa for the lockdown, which was again an amazing, amazing experience because Goa government is a little bit stupid, if I may say so. So 22nd March, when we had the Bajawing day, which was a trial lockdown, government said, okay, let's get some brownie points from the center, and we will do it for 3 more days. Whilst the rest of India was open for 3 more days, Goa did the same lockdown for 3 days. And then when lockdown got announced, no one was prepared in Goa. So actually, we had a lockdown 3 days before without any essentials
Mm-hmm.
provided. And I don't know, you must have heard about it, but Goa was the only state where no essential food shops were open for about 11 days.
Yeah.
It was a big disaster. They couldn't manage it. For me, it was a great experience. First, I was very angry. I can't drive a scooty. I can't ride a car. I can't have any. So I couldn't even find a way to go anywhere to buy anything. And I was always counting on friends later when it opened up some shops to, take me
Yeah.
grocery shopping. So for 10 days, I only cooked with rice, lentils, dry stores that I had in my kitchen, and green mango and jackfruit that was growing in my garden. So 11 days I worked with that, and I think I came up with so many fun things that I could do.
Wow.
And so that was a great experience. So March to August, I was in Goa. In middle, I came to Delhi via train in May because the flights were not
Wow.
open.
By train.
Fabulous. You know, those Shramik worker trains that started during COVID time for the immigrants. So I took the same one, and it was one of the most beautiful train journeys I've done. With going over the Western Ghats, it was really fabulous. Last time I think I did that was when I used to meet my nani in Bombay with Rajdhani train. So it was
Yeah.
going back to Anita Nayar's book. I don't know. She had written a brilliant book about train journeys where mothers carried their stoves and food was heated in the little passage. And then I went back to Italy because Italy opened up in July.
Hmm.
I was in Italy from July till October, and we did great business there. And then lockdown happened again in Italy. So
Yeah.
I'm just back now in India since November. I'm spending my time mainly between Goa and Delhi because I also realized during the lockdown time, as I told you, I'm a changed person now.
Yes, I think most people have realigned themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm still working. I still get excited when there's something new happening. But I've also realized the most important project in my life right now is called Project Ritu. So Project Ritu is very important right now.
Absolutely.
I need to love myself a little bit more, because if I don't love myself, I don't think I'm capable of loving anyone else. And this has been a big realization for me. So I'm here at the moment. I'm waiting for Italy to open up. I don't know when it'll open up, but as soon as it opens up, I need to go back there. So life is going to be between Italy, Delhi, and Goa for the moment.
Nice, nice. So you told us about your learnings. Any changes in the food after that? Have any of those, the pantry clean out, has it translated into,
Yeah, so as I said, many things where food is concerned changed in last 1 year. Business really fell in the dine-in scene. So Delhi restaurants, we were closed till July.
yeah,
When we opened, also people were scared to come. Now things are a lot better, and we needed to keep ourselves busy. So in April, my CEO, who's a great guy called Nakul, I was sitting in Goa and working it out, the ideas, and he was sitting in Delhi executing it. So we started what you call the Diva Casa. So
yeah,
Diva Casa was basically do it because you see during the lockdown, all I saw on Instagram was posts of people cooking. I think so many home chefs came up in that period that soon people like us will be out of business. And I
not
say
at
it
all.
in
Never.
it was very interesting to see
Yeah,
all that. And I realized people have fallen in love with cooking again because there was nothing else to do. But let's face it, I still don't like chopping onions. I still don't want to do the dirty work. So we were the first to start the do it yourself kit,
yeah.
where we would send all the ingredients. We would send a video link and a recipe so people
Oh,
could cook at home. So that was a new vertical that started during this time. And the other thing that we started very recently is the Casa Pantry, when
mm,
you talked about pantry cleaning. So all the Diva classics that we love and we love to do, like the pesto, the pomodoro sugo, caponata, giardinera, which is very cumbersome to do at home,
yeah,
we are preparing it for you and you can order it online. So a lot of changes happen where food, our sense of what we want to do or how we want to come back to
yeah,
normalcy came. So a lot of out of box thinking happened, which I would have never done in the past because I'm a purist. For me, a dine in experience can never take over anything else. But unfortunately, I realized with the current circumstances, the world has changed. Our attitude has changed, and we need to change with it.
yeah,
I think what's going to happen in the future now is because people have also loved or discovered the joy of cooking again, people will start cooking a lot more at home than eating out. Also, because of the fear of whatever being in social distancing contact. So, dine in, what the boom came of eating out, I think will go down, and cooking at home, rediscovering your home cooking is something that is going to happen in the future. I mean, earlier, what our mothers used to cook, then the maids took over. Then, with the young people, it was all about eating out
yeah.
or ordering takeaways. But that again will change, and hopefully, which is a very good thing. because I think what happened in the last 15, 20 years is home cooking recipes were getting lost.
Yeah.
I mean, today young people were not cooking anymore. They didn't even have the right kitchens to cook because it was something they didn't care about. And that has changed, and it's bad for my business. But I think overall, it's a fabulous thing that's happening again.
No, but I think like from someone on the other side, who had to cook those 9 months. And let me tell you, between work and actually feeding some, people 3 times a day, where you would probably just eat an egg and
Yeah,
bread, but you feel obliged, because you
yeah.
have a family in the house that you should not be eating egg and bread all
So
the
you
time.
will be the first one to go and attack the restaurants because you're fed up of it.
I feel maybe not attack the restaurants, but at least what the restaurant bringing it home, And I think what you're talking of is the casa. Diva
Yeah,
casa is the beautiful midway because,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. And it's amazing. I mean, I see some pictures that they post of what they have done, and same ingredients, same recipe, something completely different comes out. Delicious. So it also made me realize that at the end, cooking is about nuances, cooking
absolutely.
is about the hand. You
And
have
your own spin on things, right?
exactly, exactly.
No, but I think your video DIY thing is really cool because I mean, I've ordered some kits. I've never
Ah,
got
okay.
the video thing, so that's really unusual. So hats off to you because I think that works really
Yeah,
well.
I'm a diva, darling. Anytime they say do a video, I said yes, 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 right away.
I've seen that wonderful one of you wishing everybody a happy Christmas.
Yes.
That's a really cool one in a loop. So that's fun. Okay. Now summer's coming and the theme of Indulge Fest, this one is summer. So what
Yeah.
does summer mean for you in food personally? Do you like summer?
I love summers. So for me, I mean, my mother always shouts at me when I come back from Goa. She says, "Kali ho gayi ho tum," because I'm lying in the sun, very
That
happy.
never stops, does it?
Never. So I'm sure my mother's ordered many Fair and Lovely for me now.
Oh,
Uh, I don't know if it still exists, but summer I think is so amazing because also the fruits and
yeah.
ingredients that start coming in, it's amazing. So for me, summer is about bear, summer is about lychee, summer
Yeah.
is about finally getting some mango. Summer is about Holi. Well, Holi is really now next
Yeah, just
corner,
before actually.
and summer's about going for a swim. Summer is about splashing across water. Summer is about going to hill stations and walking on a mall road or something. So I think summer is, I think, fabulous. And where food is concerned, summer is also the time, thankfully, people like us lose some weight because you're not eating non-stop like you do in the winters. Summer is about crunchy salads. Summer is about a cold soup. Summer is about um, I don't know. It's really nice. It's about tori. It's about loki. It's
Mm,
about so I think summer's food habits really change
yeah.
for us in summer, and I think that's better for us and healthier for us. So yes, for me, I'm looking for beer more than anything else. Kala jamun. I'm looking for when we were young kids and I went to CGM in Delhi. And on the way back, we used to ask the school bus to stop at India Gate because there were all these jamun trees in
Oh,
the way, and shake them and carry the jamun back home. Is summers about eating fresh kheera, kakdi, mooli, gajar with namak and nimbu, you
absolutely.
know.
All
So
the simple things that taste so good.
absolutely,
Yeah, light
absolutely.
and refreshing. It takes very little actually to
Ice
transform
cream,
summer
ice
produce.
cream. It's
Ice
about
cream,
kala khatta. It's about eating chuski. It is
yeah, those
about eating,
golas. I
yes,
think
stick wali kulfi. It's refreshing. It's eating about aam panna. It's about making fresh panna. It's about making kanji. So yes, can't wait for summer to come. My mother will get very upset. I will get more dark, but that's summer for us.
that is what mothers do. That's
Yes.
okay. So now we go to your cookbooks. You have three of them. I have two. Let me show them to everybody.
Yes,
Look at
and
that picture. What I always love is also the picture that you put. I mean, this one, and then this one though is amazing on the scooter.
so
You are
all
a woman after my own heart. And
So
I miss my
all the
scooter.
thank you. So I have a Vespa now in Goa. This was a Lambretta, but now I have a Vespa. Um, the pictures, all the shoot of both the books was done in less than a day, believe it or not. Okay, so Anshika Varma, who's an amazing photographer, young kid who I met when she was working with Time Out, did the shoot. So in Diva Green, I said, okay, guys, if you want to shoot it, you guys come to my house in Goa and we will cook in the kitchen. We will go around and you just take the pictures as we go around. And this is how it happened. So Diva Green, the pictures were not taken with those fancy cameras and lights and whatever. This is outside the home, the picture. Yeah. And it's just the colors were so beautiful. It
So
was
cool.
nice. Yeah. Traveling Diva, again, the pictures taken outside my home. Okay, we went to a sabzi market, bought some vegetable, and the pictures were taken. So both the books again, the photography part of it happened very simply. Same with Italian Khana,
Hmm.
which we don't have a copy of it. Chiki Sarkar was my editor for
Hmm.
that. That time she was with Random House. It was the
Hmm.
first year that she had come in, and Italian Khana was in the first list of Random House that came that year.
Hmm.
And again, budgets were tight. There was no money, and but Chiki paid from her personal pocket through this photographer Sefi Bergeson, who's an amazing photographer. But we could only afford him for a day. So what we did for Italian Khana is we arranged for a meal with friends, family in a farm, about 1820, and I cooked the meal for them. Okay, so Sefi came in the morning whilst I was cooking, whilst they were eating, whilst they were laughing, and the whole pictures was done in one day. So again, in some ways, just the way I feel about food, I also feel about food photography per se.
Yeah.
I'm not, for me, it doesn't work that when a dish is put on a spotlight and sprays are put on it to make it look more luscious, or colors are put around it to make it look more like food is pornography. Food pictures are like
Yeah.
pornography.
Yeah.
This is a fact. But for me, it's always been about real and wholesome. And none of the food in any of the books have been played around with
Hmm.
or put whatever. It has been all natural, and that's what I wanted it. And thanks to both my publishers, they managed to actually do it and respect it. And I think I love it because
That's celebrated. So
this is reality. This is celebration of food, not doing studio shoots of food which looks so beautiful but actually is not real.
and then the people who make it also get disappointed when it doesn't look
Absolutely,
like that.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me there's another one coming.
Yeah.
Yay. That's good. So I know.
Yeah, you see, I was bored out of my brains when I was in Goa. I was cooking with what's available. So every day, whatever I was cooking with, whatever a recipe came out of it. So yes, soon another one will very different, but I think I'm quite proud of it.
This would be like those, remember the wartime recipes, the British.
Yeah, in some ways. So it's very funny. You talk about wartime recipes, but things like carrot cake, red velvet cake, they all are wartime recipes
Hmm.
because sugar was not
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
So carrot was add to the sugar part of it.
Yeah.
And
The
with
sweetened.
red velvet, beetroot, but now they add color. So
Yeah.
actually wartime food was amazing. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
was COVID food, my dear.
Yeah. When you're
Jackfruit.
pushed to it, I think you get to amazing
You
things.
will be
Like,
surprised how many things you can do with green mango, and you will be surprised how many things you can do with this dal chawal. It is, I think I experimented with every cuisine. I made handwo, I made God knows what all, just using dal chawal. And that's what,
absolutely can't wait.
yes,
Can't wait at all.
absolutely.
So you've
Absolutely.
told us already about your newest food babies, which is Diva Casa and Diva Casa
Pantry.
Pantry. And imagine I called them food babies before you said that
I
they were your
know,
babies.
I know. This is really, children that are born late in your life, you're very fond of them for some reason. Okay, more than so. This is in a hardcore Hindi saying, "Budape ke bacche."
No, nobody would say it. But they are precious, as they say,
Yes,
no? They
absolutely,
are precious, yeah.
absolutely.
So what are the future plans for the Diva of food?
Sweetheart, you really think any of us are in any position to make any plans?
I'm sure there
Really?
are some small ones.
No, no. Another thing I've learned, man proposes, God disposes.
Absolutely.
So for me, right now, it's about taking each day as it comes, be grateful for each passing day that we can operate, we can work, and plans will come later. I really have no plans, and I don't want to make any plans. I just want to now consolidate, bring our babies back to their healthy situation, nourish them, nurture them, love them, and then we can think about having more children.
That's amazing. So, Ritu, thank you so much. That has been such an interesting conversation. I mean, it's like I'm really looking forward. One, I have a plan. The plan is that when the book comes out, I'm going to get a copy. Very quickly, because I got it when I didn't know you at all, but I used to just admire your attitude and your food from afar. So that will continue. And I wish you so
Time
much.
you're in Delhi, you come and I will make you try 10 different types of khichadis. Okay?
Wow, because khichdi is not my thing, but I know you will convert
Yes.
me. Thank
Yes.
you so, so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.